going, we don't need roads.
This is your host Joey Cruel, and you are listening to Relentless Flashbackin. In every episode, I will travel back to a certain year of the past and I'll talk about its historical events, stuff, toys, cars, TV, movies, and music. You'll find Relentless Flashbackin on Mixcloud, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. With this episode, I'll talk about 1999. The 90s were an awful decade, the beginning of a never-ending journey through hell. Yes, there was something remarkable. But for sure, 1999 shows how the last 28 years have been hyenas and empty. In 1999, the wealth is slowly reducing, and we don't realize it. Piero Angela, an Italian science journalist, will say in an interview in 2014.
Se tu prendi un rospo e lo metti dentro all'acqua bollente, o quasi, scalda via subito. Se lo metti nell'acqua tiepida e scaldi l'acqua piano piano, arrivi alla stessa temperatura e non esce, perché c'è una assuefazione, in questo caso il degrado. Poco alla volta, noi abbiamo continuamente perso qualcosa, non ce ne siamo accorti.
If you take a toad and put it in a boiling water, it will immediately jump off. If you put it in the water and then you slowly warm up the water until it's boiling, the toad will not jump off because there is a habit, a degeneration. We have continually lost something, little by little, and we didn't notice it. For the Western civilization, there is an almost never-ending war situation since 1990. After the first Gulf War ended in 1991, the wars in Bosnia and Somalia both ended in 1995. Since 1998, there is the Kosovo War that ends in 1999 with more than 3,000 dead.
And we act to stand united with our allies for protecting our interests. The United States should feel vindicated.
Meanwhile, terrorism continues to hit. More than 20 attacks in the world and 5 on Western soil. In Northern Ireland, a bomb kills the solicitor Rosemary Nelson. The suspects are a terrorist loyalist group that's against the 1998 ceasefires. Rosemary Nelson was already an innocent victim. She was beaten by the police and despite death threats, she was never protected. Then in London there is a series of bomb explosions. Over 3 successive weekends between 17 and 30 April, homemade nail bombs are detonated, killing 3 people and injuring more than 100 people. The bomber is a neo-Nazi militant whose aims are black, British Bengali and gay communities. A Nazi is also behind the LA shooting. He attacks a daycare center at the North Valley Jewish Community Center, injuring 5 people and killing a Filipino-American to escape. So think about it. Behind these 5 attacks, there are only white men, so the religion and the color of the skin can't be the clues to identify horrible people. In 1999, the infamous Columbine High School massacre occurs. 2 losers decide to go to school, kill 13 innocent people, and finally commit suicide. There are many reasons behind this full act. For sure, it's hard to avoid this type of tragedies, since in USA it's too easy to have access to guns. Then think that the assassins had mental problems and you have a horrible picture. Sadly, the school shootings are too common in the USA, and the Columbine High School massacre is among the deadliest school shootings. 33 dead in 2007, 28 dead in 2012, 17 dead in 2018 and 1966, and then there are the 15 dead of the Columbine massacre. In the 70s, there were 30 cases for a total of 37 dead. In the 80s, there were 38 cases for a total of 49 dead. In the 90s, we have a total of 62 cases for a total of 89 dead. In the 2000s, there will be 59 cases for a total of 102 dead. From 2010 to 2019, there will be 180 cases for a total of 160 dead. Easy availability of weapons is one of the causes, but why there is this escalation of violence? What's changed? In 1999, the Italian Supreme Court takes a startling decision on a rape case. It's not rape if the victim was wearing jeans, because they would be difficult to remove. A real shame. But finally, after years of struggle, in 2008, the Supreme Court will overturn its own ruling of 1999. Wearing jeans cannot prevent a woman from being raped. Since 1999, the Denim Day, every April 24th, is raising awareness about sexual violence and all these incredible decisions against the women's rights. At least 20 US states will officially recognize Denim Day. The tanker Erika was built in 1975 and in 1999 breaks in two, sinks off the coast of France and causes a major environmental disaster. Tons of oil are spilled into the sea, killing marine life and polluting shores. Behind this disaster there are tons of wrongdoings, and also the RINA, Registro Navale Italiano, is accused and will be also accused for more maritime disasters. Al Salam Boccaccio in 2006, Jolly Nero in 2013 and Normal Atlantic in 2014. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act is approved, a bank deregulation bill that sweeps away the Depression-era law known as Glass-Steagall. It's signed by Bill Clinton and approved by the Senate by an incredible majority. Among those who are against it, there is Byron Dorgan, who says that in 2009 we will realize the mistake and that what was valid during the Great Depression is still valid today. It's a voice in the wilderness, and in 2007 there will be the subprime mortgage financial crisis that will lead to the Great Recession of 2008, which in 2019 will not be over, a recession worse than the Great Depression of the 30s. The crisis will be really hard also because it will have unprecedented characteristics. For sure, this act is not the only cause, but it's clear that an act which reduces decades-old regulations will help to create the economic crisis. The euro is established, but it will be necessary to wait until 2002 for its physical introduction. But it's hard to decide whether we will be a gain or a loss for various side effects. 1999 is also the year of the new millennium fear. What will happen at the strokes of midnight when the year 2000 will arrive? Among the unfounded fears, there is a real one, the millennium bug, as the years were represented by the final two digits. Many systems can confuse the year 2000 with the year 1900, and this can lead to a quite few problems that will lead to a global cost of more than $300 billion for the prevention and the resolutions of the glitches. Finally, the US bids farewell to the historic checker taxis that, like London taxis, were cars built only to be taxis, and they were mainly used in New York. You have seen them in every movie shot in the Big Apple. Woodstock 1999 occurs and has nothing to do with the 1969 concert. The only purpose here is to serve the almighty dollar, with an expensive ticket and with very high prices for food. For example, you need $4 for water. The concert is held on a former runway for airplanes, so you can imagine the hellish situation. It's an overcrowded place with 80 degrees, burning tarmac under your feet, and you can drink. Then there is also a lot of violence that takes place during and after the concert, even sexual assaults. And at the end, here is the fire. Everything is set to flame. Long story short, Woodstock 1999 is total chaos. But what about music? In addition to a few historical artists like John Entwistle, James Brown, George Clinton, Elvis Costello or Willie Nelson, the rest of the bill is all the worst that the 90s could offer. And there are also 3 sellout bands from the 80s, so this concert is just disgusting. Overkill are one of the best thrash metal bands from the 80s, and in 1999 they publish Necroshine, their 10th album, and they show that you can update your sound without betraying your roots. The influences from Pantera's groove metal are here, but the whole Overkill sonic structure is here too. Indeed, the stainless and indestructible band from New Jersey releases a record that's an incredible punch in the teeth, with just one exception: 80 Cycles, a song with doom tones. In 2015, the singer Bobby Bleeds Ellsworth will say that the song Necroshine helped him to go through some problems. That's the 80s spirit. You keep fighting without giving up. This is another record that you should add to your collection. And now let's break our neck with Forked Tongue Kiss. This section is about the 1999 stuff. The desktop publishing software Adobe InDesign is released for the first time, and the Kyocera VP 210 visual phone is the first mobile phone with a camera. From a cultural point of view, we go even further down, thanks to the web, which, with its lawless run, gives birth to the peer-to-peer phenomenon. Like the web, the peer-to-peer is a powerful tool, but it's misused and abused. People don't download movies and music to try them and then, eventually, to buy them. They just steal everything. They prefer to use their money for useless fads instead of culture. This behavior will help to damage permanently our cultural fabric. Many cinemas, video rental shops, and record stores will close, also thanks to this evil revolution. Fu Manchu is the all fun, no drama side of the stoner metal, and their 70s sound, soaked with sun, sea salt and octane, is an electric discharge that strikes you on the spot. The prolific band releases the 5th album in 1999, and it's called Eating Dust, a title and a cover full of promises. Of course, Fu Manchu keep them all. We expect adrenaline, and they inject adrenaline in our brain. The album is recorded in Palm Springs, California, and it also includes 3 songs from the 1997 EP Godzilla. Of course, the title track is a cover of the famous Blue Oyster Cult song. I give you a taste of this masterpiece with a song dedicated to the famous BMX brand. Here is Mongoose, and let's see if you can stand still. In this section, I'll talk about toys from 1999. Star Wars The Phantom Menace toy line from Hasbro debuts this year, and among all the items, there is a Jabba the Hutt version that is really weird, Jabba Glob, where you got is basically a soft statue of Jabba the Hutt, and you have to fill it with slime and little creatures. Then you squish Jabba's head, and it begins vomiting slime. Do you remember that fantastic scene in one of the movies where Jabba is puking vomit all over the room after a wild party? Well, that's funny and silly, but it's just that, nothing memorable. And if I should think about some memorable toy from 1999... I'm sorry, there is nothing really interesting in this 1999. In 1997, the former guitar player Chris Holmes was back in the band Wasp, and everyone was expecting the return of the 80s magic. But sadly, the album Kill Fuck Die was a huge disappointment. Instead, in 1999, the new album El Dorado is the true comeback of Wasp. Yes, it's not a masterpiece, but it's very close. The songs are all dirty and aggressive, and the lethal combination between Holmes and the singer Blackie leaves no way out. This 8th album shows an unstoppable band. With this album the episode ends. In the next episode I'll talk about cars and TV from 1999. Please subscribe to the channel and follow the show on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you want to give your support, please visit Teespring and Patreon. Relentless Flashbackin is easy to find because the name is unique all over the web. And now, from Eldorado album, here is Wasp with Can't Die Tonight. Stay outrageous, stay larger than life. Romeo, Foxtrot, Bravo!